Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Today I want to discuss the plight of Tyrion Lannister in the HBO mega hit series Game of Thrones. There will be spoilers in this video, so viewers, if you aren't caught up on all of Game of Thrones, up through and including the second episode of the 8th and final season, the spoilers are about to begin.
Well, my golden lion days are done, but whoremongering is still an option for you.
It's not. Things would be easier if it were.
Tyrion Lannister has been in quite a slump recently. It seems as if all his recent decisions over the last 2 seasons have turned to shit. It's been one bad decision after another. He's been deceived, he's been outmaneuvered, and he has grossly underestimated his opponents. Let's quickly review some of Tyrion's terrible decisions.
The Dornish will lay siege to the capital, alongside the Tyrell army, 2 great kingdoms united against Cersei.
So, your master plan is to use our armies. Get it over with!
Grey Worm and the Unsullied will sail for the Rock and take it.
The Unsullied will be fighting for something greater. They will be fighting for freedom and the person who gave it to them.
Inkasonesko sidri hibezi. Gara sigri.
Did we fight well?
As well as could be expected.
It was never our forte. Golden roses, indeed.
It's still the right plan.
The right plan! Your strategy has lost us Dawn, the Iron Islands, and the Reach.
If I have underestimated our enemies...
Our enemies? Your family, you mean?
Your brother and his new queen thought you would be defending Casterly Rock.
The truth is, Casterly Rock isn't worth much anymore.
He's a clever man, your hand. I've known a great many clever men. I've outlived them all. You know why? I ignored them.
Enough with the clever plans.
You're a dragon. Be a dragon.
I offer you a choice. Bend the knee and join me.
All rulers demand that people bend the knee. It's why they're rulers.
Or refuse. And die.
She gave Tarly a choice. A man who had taken up arms against her. Your Grace, you stop beheading entire families.
I'm not beheading anyone.
What else could she do?
Not burn him alive alongside his son?
Dracarys.
I am her hand, not her head. I can't make her decisions for her.
What kind of a queen am I if I'm not willing to risk my life to fight them?
A smart one.
You need to find a way to make her listen.
I should go. She'll definitely murder you. I go see my sister alone. Or we all go home, and we're right back where we started.
Preparing the expedition north.
Expedition North. I always knew you were the stupidest Lannister.
Why would he do that if you weren't telling the truth?
Perhaps he trusts his little brother to defend him, right up to the moment he slits my throat.
I believe she wants to survive.
I used to think you were the cleverest man alive.
Either you knew Cersei was lying and let me believe otherwise, or you didn't know at all, which makes you either a traitor or a fool.
I was a fool.
Not for the first time.
And she is. Different.
She is.
Are you sure about her?
I am.
She didn't seem sure about you.
Cersei still sits on the throne. If you can't help me take it back, I'll find another hand who can.
I made a mistake common to clever people. I underestimated my opponents.
Maybe Euron Greyjoy had the right idea. Get on a boat. Take those who matter.
You're pregnant. Cersei told me the pregnancy had changed her. Chance for you both to start again, and I believed her.
Well, my golden lion days are done, but whoremongering is still an option for you.
It's not. Things would be easier if it were.
So Tyrion's entire battle strategy failed and failed miserably. Tyrion was outwitted by his brother Jaime, who knew that Casterly Rock wasn't worth saving. And amazingly, Tyrion was also deceived by his adorable big sister. You'd think by now that Tyrion would be past the point of being conned by Queen Cersei, but that's exactly what happened. Even his wife from a sham marriage mocked Tyrion's failure on that front. But the worst thing going on right now for Tyrion is that Daenerys' trust in him seems to be waning. Tyrion's judgment has been terrible, and Daenerys has taken notice. Jorah helped restore Daenerys' faith in Tyrion. This is somewhat ironic, because Jorah had previously been banished by Daenerys when she first took Tyrion on as an advisor. And I think this just goes to show the simple truth that Daenerys is a complete and total nutjob, and she seems to be unraveling. To her credit, Daenerys has often tried to do the right thing, but she's always been a little wishy-washy, and she always seems to struggle and be unsure of herself when it comes to whose advice she should be taking and when. Jorah's endorsement for Tyrion satisfied her for the moment, but she could just as easily wind up mad at both of them in the next episode. Also lurking somewhere in Tyrion's thoughts, Tyrion is fully aware that Daenerys is just as capable of being a monster as Cersei, with one important difference.
She chose an advisor who would check her worst impulses instead of feeding them. That's the difference between you.
I don't care about checking my worst impulses.
So if that's the big difference between Daenerys and Cersei, it brings up the question of what happens when Daenerys is no longer willing to listen to the advisor that will check her worst impulses. And worse yet, what happens when she chooses an advisor who does feed on her worst impulses? This all gets to the root of why I honestly believe Cersei is the most misunderstood character in the show. Imagine quickly turning the perspectives around, where the actions of both characters remain exactly the same, but with a positive spin on Cersei and a villainous light on Daenerys. And it's easy to see there is very little separating the two. Bar the fact that Cersei is much smarter, and at the moment, Daenerys is listening to people that check her worst impulses. But I think it's important to remember that Tyrion was absolutely hoodwinked by Cersei.
Either you knew Cersei was lying and let me believe otherwise, or you didn't know at all, which makes you either a traitor or a fool.
I was a fool.
Not for the first time.
Perhaps he trusts his little brother to defend him, right up to the moment he slits my throat.
If I have underestimated our enemies...
Our enemies? Your family, you mean?
Cersei still sits on the throne. If you can't help me take it back, I'll find another hand who can.
So regardless of Jorah's endorsement of Tyrion, it seems as if Tyrion is one bad decision away from being completely dismissed by her. And let's be honest here, Tyrion hasn't done an especially good job keeping Daenerys in check from her worst impulses. His success rate with her has been mediocre at best. And this was something that Varys duly noted.
You need to find a way to make her listen.
I still believe Varys will be a key player, and that he's on the verge of making a power play that will marginalize Tyrion so that Varys has Daenerys' ear. I'm not sure how that would all come together in the context of the upcoming big battle at Winterfell, but I believe Varys will ultimately usurp Tyrion and land that top spot for the ear of Daenerys. If things unfold in a way as I suspect they might, then I think that means Tyrion will ultimately become aligned with Jon Snow during the final stretch. And I do believe that Tyrion will ultimately rise to the occasion and make use of his considerable intellect in a way that's beneficial. Right now, I think the biggest thing working against Tyrion is something that he never seemingly experienced in his life in this capacity: self-doubt. And not just any self-doubt, but doubt about his ability to accurately predict his opponent's next move. Tyrion used to excel with this, but his recent track record has him filled with doubt. So Tyrion, I believe, will have one final challenge ahead, and I would be somewhat surprised if he doesn't rise to the occasion where he learns from his recent mistakes and concocts some badass effective strategy that works to save the day. Whatever happens, I, for one, cannot wait to see how Tyrion's final defining moment plays out. What do you think is in store for Tyrion Lannister? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night.
They call me Giant's Bane. Want to know why?